Hello, Travis here, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. In the last episode, we took the science that we made in the episode prior, and constructed a laboratory array to process that science. And since then, I've been plugging away this through the tech tree, getting the laser turret, which I have plans to utilize for our base defense. Some lab research and mining productivity. Uh, robot speed. You'll notice that the base is running a lot more smoothly. And if I build anything, the robots would be a lot faster. I also started implementing some of our base defenses. But in this episode, we're going to be continuing working on it and investigating this particular technology that we're unlocking right here. The tank, and there we go. The tank is probably one of the strongest vehicles. Short of the Spidertron. And the Spidertron is it's a beast. I wouldn't say it's easy to obtain the Spidertron, but it's easier in 2.0 vanilla as opposed to proper Space Age. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have some fun today. So the tank needs a 32 engine unit, which I siphoned from my blue science production. 10 red circuits, which I have. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. 15 gears, which is should be pretty easy to. There we go. And 50 steel. And like that, we have our tank. Oh, speaking of, you might notice my inventory screen is a lot different. And that's because we unlocked logistic robots. They're kind of I've talked a little bit about them in the past, but basically they're kind of these are the construction workers. These are kind of like they're I've heard people talk about them in a similar manner to elevated belts, pretty much. They basically fly over and I've started the automation of them right here. of course, using quality modules to try and get because like the construction robots, they benefit greatly from quality. Fortunately, I believe we only have one uncommon logistics robot so far, but we'll get more of them. Where did my tank go? Right, of course. So the tank is similar to the car. On first glance, it's kind of slow and it's kind of a bit clunky to drive, but there's a way to it. So you know how we have a modular armor? Well, there's a way to that technology is. The logistics system basically gives our logistic robots a much stronger purpose. They're kind of active provider, the quester chest, and the buffer chest. And we also get vehicle logistics, which basically gives the tank a similar screen as this. And actually, I stand corrected. The tank does have a equipment grid, like the and the way we can make the tank go faster and make our character go faster is through the exoskeleton. But we won't get there. We won't see that for a little bit. Pretty soon we're gonna research our production science pack, which is gonna be our last pack that we're gonna be focusing on before we worry about getting to space. But before we get, let's talk more about the tank. So it has two fuel spaces, kind of similar to the car. We have an equipment grid, which that's what the we have a free weapon thing. We have a tank cannon, the an MG, and a flamethrower. They're all pretty good, but of course the weapon that is the strongest of the is going to be the tank cannon. And there's two types of there's the regular cannon shells and the explosive cannon shells. They're functionally identical, except the regular cannon shell does a lot of physical damage and has a it's basically your armor piercing round in comparison to like World of Tanks or War Thunder, and this is your high explosive round. They're pretty cheap to make, only requiring X1 explosive. And as you can see from explosives are pretty easy to make. A bit too easy, might I add. Then a coal, sulfur, and water. So how about we make a... This seems like a good pivot from grinding through to get our coal. And I'm probably gonna grab my petroleum, because I'm gonna make some local plastic. Although since I'm committed to making this the spaghetti base. Yeah, why not? Just gonna do. Alright. Zero capacity bonus will basically give a bulk and stack inserters a bit of a which we need because this will only benefit unloading. Alright. Yeah. In episode 17, I was going to try and fix this all up, but then I was like, you know what? I really don't care. It works. And that's what the intended it to do. We're also gonna need a steel, which will. I could have just taken it in from right there, but all right. When we get logistics system, we'll be able to create what we call a bot mall. I've mentioned it before, but now that we have logistics max, I can kind of elaborate on it further. Which basically, logistics system with requester chest will be able to request a certain amount of items the to that chest, and basically what we'll be doing is taking a request, stuffing them into an assembler. The assembler will churn out that particular good, and it will be put into a provider chest. And I'll get more when I actually build a bot mall. I'll kind of talk about how that exactly works. So let's make some explosives. Probably want to take water from over there. Actually, I don't really need all that many explosives. I'm gonna lead a pipe all the way out here. And again, cliffs are gonna be an obstacle for us a little bit. And we got our research for production back. That will probably be the focus of the next episode, working on purple science. So then we're just kind of alright. Alright. I get an offshore pump. And there we go, we have our water. Of course, this ring, on one hand, this might be cause an issue when we make production sites, but it's looking like this clef is going to cause some issues for us, so we're probably going to have to put purple science over here. So, now that we have our water piped in, let's make a more permanent explosive rather than a and make some cannon shells. Alright. We're going to make both the regular ones and the other ones. Can I make them in the... Yes, I can. I'm gonna Man, I love cluttering my inventory. Alright. Alright, hopefully we can get robot. They're not much faster, but as you can see, it's noticeably faster. We're gonna drive our tank over here. Make some cannon shells. Fortunately, we won't have a... I will take a... I can be patient. Because while I'm doing that, I can work on our defenses. Low density structure is going to be a key item that we want to manufacture. Because again, it's going to be a core component of the rocket, of getting the to keep where we go. I can probably put some speed modules in. Increase the module gambling for. I'm gonna do productivity in there. Alright. So we're going to I'm not going to spam laser turrets everywhere. We kind of want we're gonna be running laser turrets along a majority of our walls, but not all of them. Though I might retract that statement and it all depends on how fast we can get a nuclear going. Because nuclear, it isn't easy because I don't know if I showed this on video or not. I'll have to go back and. But there's a technology that allows us to. Yes, uranium mining. We need sulfuric acid to put into the drills. Going to do that. Alright. I believe shells stack to 100, so I can yap a little bit more and kind of I'm still committed to doing a light oil in the flamethrowers. So what I might do in order to maximize potential, because again, the spitters will stay at range while the biters will kind of charge in. So we want to kind of have the flamethrowers target the spitters and get the biters by proxy. And we'll probably the tank is an absolute beast. And keeping the spirit of let's go first and foremost, the tank can plow through trees without taking damage. It's worth noting that the tank has a 4,000 HP, so kind of the goal of tank combat, you kind of want to drive in circles. And sometimes I'll even have a auxiliary turret line to kind of back up, to kind of fall back to sort of thing. Because while the machine gun is nice, I believe it has a it's not really. It's not exactly much stronger than the submachine gun. So I kind of tend to avoid using the. I'm coming to the stop, but you kind of want to hold reverse because the tank will coast, and as you saw with the trees, it will plow through basically everything. It is a again one of the strongest vehicles in the game, alongside the train and the Spidertron. Why don't we take on something a little bit more than a nest with a bunch of worms in a singular nest? How about we take on this, this is gonna be my fallback point, basically. Yeah, explosive shells are kind of my favorite, but eventually, I don't want to take out my own turrets. We're gonna slow down for the repair. Then we're gonna dip back in. Oh, I just literally drove into a acid puddle. Was that? Ah, yes, it was one of my construction. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I lost one of my if kitted out properly, sometimes I don't even, I'm just gonna, I can just do that. Yeah, and that's pretty much let's go ahead and of course the downside of the stock tank is of course the low speed. Oops, sorry, my audio cut out. Ooh. Yeah, that's the dangers of Of course, the downside is it kind of chugs thing, but that's a more of a field choice. I just love the detail. It where it briefly the turret returns back to. As you can see the benefits of our shooting speed. But yeah, I know it's a bit of a short episode, but I've been on a bit of a marathon for, and I figured a more relaxed doing something with a fun toy instead of building more furnace stacks and building more circuit modules and doing a ton of boring stuff. Instead, we're having fun in a video game. Imagine that. I think this is where I'm gonna leave it off for for today. If you like the kind of the learning about the intricacies of the humble tank. Oh, and here's another cool thing. I can drive the tank myself, which can lead into some um like that. If you if I had to do it. Anyway, if you like me having some fun, watching me have some fun, leave a like. If you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment down below. If you want to see more Factorio Space Age, oh, let me pull out my tank. Hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.